This new moon in Taurus brings a supercharged, fresh start to help us wipe the slate clean and get back on track after this last eclipse season. That's because this is the first new moon after the eclipse season, and it's going to be in a really nice sextile with Mars, which is a welcome relief given the energy that we're having this entire week with the Pluto opposition to Mars that will occur shortly after this actual new moon, but also the fixed grand cross that it's creating with Jupiter squaring Pluto and the lunar nodes, which I talked about in a previous video. This is going to bring a little bit of reprieve and a positive outlet for us to utilize this energy in a way that is motivational, in a way that's intuitive, because Neptune will also be in the mix in another sextile with the new moon. This is about brand new beginnings that come from a place of intuitive action. And this action is being taken in the physical, tangible reality because Taurus is involved. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. It is a sign that deals with physicality. It is a sign that deals with what's real, what's static, what we can actually touch, taste, and feel in our lives and in our reality. And so this is about starting something new in the physical realm. And this is a reprieve from the energy that's been super, super chaotic throughout the entire week that this new moon is occurring within. Because again, we have that grand fixed cross, and that energy is actually going to be lasting really for the entire 2-week period after this new moon up until we get into the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And so this 2-week period is really excellent for brand new beginnings, for fresh starts. But it's not going to be without a little bit of effort, turbulence, crisis. Like really, we're in this weird period right now where things are a little bit dicey, where things feel much more intense and overblown than they really need to, where emotionally and physically we might be tried and tested, where good things can happen, but not without having to actually put in the work, let go of things that no longer serve us, and pay the price through having to deal with some things that might not necessarily feel good in the moment. This new moon is going to give us a positive outlet for some of that energy. It's going to allow us to shift things because this is in a sextile with Mars, which is at 29 degrees in the sign of Cancer at the time of this new moon. This is going to be about severing ties and cutting cords with something in order to motivate ourselves to move forward, in order to free up the energy that we need to actually take right action in our lives. And so I love this energy for that. It's a much needed positive energy. There's not a whole lot of extra to talk about besides that grand fixed cross, which I talked about in the other video. So I'm really just going to get right down to it. But before we do, I do have a quick announcement. My free beginners astrology bootcamp course is back. That is right. You can sign up now and take the course throughout the entire month of June. It's a 22-day true beginners course that should absolutely be a paid course. And I'm kind of crazy for giving it for free because there's so much information packed into this. You will get one video per day for the first 22 days about each of the zodiac signs and the astrological planets. And in addition to this, we're going to have a special bonus this time around, which is going to be a live lesson with myself and my teaching assistants from the Cosmic Academy of Astrology, where we're going to help you put together the energy of the signs and planets so that way you can start making your own interpretations. There's also going to be a live Q&A where you can ask all of your most pressing astrology questions and get them answered. And of course, this course comes with a free student community forum where you can ask your questions, get answers, interact with like-minded astrology lovers just like you, and so much more. This is free for a very limited time. You have until the 31st to sign up. So make sure you jump on that now. And classes begin on June 1st. Again, 100% free. My gift to you. I just want you to get excited about learning astrology. So with that being said, for again, the purpose of learning astrology and how to work with this energy in your own chart, I wanted to just mention really quickly what you should be looking for in your own chart. So basically, in all of my videos, you want to make sure you're listening for your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign to get a more holistic overview for the energy of the next 2 weeks ahead. Your rising sign is the most predominant energy, your sun sign is secondary, and your moon sign is important to listen to as well, although this energy will be more internalized and subjective. You also want to make sure for this forecast, you're focusing on the earth signs. So energy that's happening in especially the signs of Virgo and Capricorn are going to be quite pleasant, and you're going to have some really powerful, gentle new beginnings that are going to show up in really beautiful and harmonious ways. If you have planets, and so you also want to obviously download my Astrology 101 PDF guide so you can look what those planets represent. I forgot to mention that. That's another free gift and free resource for you. So look at those planets in the earth signs, especially in Virgo and Capricorn. Look at what they signify in the Astrology 101 PDF guide. The link to download is below. And also, you want to look at which houses are occupied by those earth signs, because those are going to be subject to that positivity as well. And the significations for those houses you're going to want to look at. Taurus is going to be a little different because you're going to have a mixed bag of energy. And we'll talk about that when we get into the forecast for your sign. But any planets there are going to have some intensity and some crisis, but also some really positive new beginnings. The water signs, especially Cancer and Pisces. So Cancer and Pisces in particular, not necessarily Scorpio, but Cancer and Pisces are also going to be subject to positivity and harmonious influence. It's more of a mitigating influence for those two signs where there could have been some stress and hardship, and this is alleviating that energy and that pressure around the time of the new moons to give you some clarity so you can actually move forward with something. And then finally, you want to look at the fixed signs. So that is your Taurus, your Scorpio, your Leo, and your Aquarius. Whatever planets are in those signs, look those up in the Astrology 101 PDF guide and make note of what they signify, because those significations, those themes are going to be subject to a lot of turbulence, a lot of change, a lot of breaking things down, a lot of fresh starts, and a lot of new beginnings. So there's going to be a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure already in the fixed signs, and this new moon is only going to kind of add to that pressure. So that's kind of worth making note of as well, because there's enough pressure there. It's not necessarily needed that we add to that pressure. And so it's going to be dicey, but it's just for a moment. And again, there is an outlet in order to work with this energy. So especially if you have sun, moon, or rising in the fixed signs, we'll talk about that outlet when we go through that entire forecast. So let's get into it, you guys. The forecast for all 12 signs, beginning, of course, with Aries. I'm going to pull up my little chart drawing here so we can see what we're working with and so you guys can see what you're working with. All right, so for Aries and for Aries rising. So for you guys, get myself set up. For you guys, this new moon is happening in your second house, which is the house of money and resources. And so there's a lot of turbulence and a lot of diciness in that area right now. If you haven't already checked out my video where I talk about the Jupiter-Pluto square, make sure you do that after this one so you can get a full overview of every spectrum of experience you're going to be having right now. But this is providing an outlet for a fresh start, a new beginning, a big cosmic reset for you in the area of finance. There's a lot of change going on here. There's something that could be overblown, or there's an opportunity that might be actually too good to be true that's coming and taking place at this time. However, there could be another opportunity that isn't too good to be true and is actually just true. And that could happen around the time of this new moon energy. So this is a really great time to set intentions for positive changes you want to make in the area of wealth, resources, finance, your possessions, the things that you own. Making a really big, important purchase even could be a part of it as well. If there's something that you want to do involving your resources, or a purchase that involves your home, your property, your family, your place of living, then this is a time where you can set those intentions. It's not the time to actually push it forward, but it's the time to kind of seed it. So start thinking about it, making a plan, writing down what it is that you want in that area, and it'll come to you throughout the entire month after this new moon, exactly what to do and how to make it a reality. These dreams, it's going to be tangible. It's going to become concrete because this is energy in a fixed sign. All right. So for Taurus and for Taurus rising. So for Taurus, this energy is happening in your sign. So you're going through the ringer right now. Jupiter just moved into your sign, which is a beautiful thing, right? But you have to deal with a lot of karmic energy, a lot of change, transition, a little bit of chaos for you to actually be able to enjoy the beauty, the expansion, the opportunity that Jupiter is bringing into the mix. There's also something going on here with this new moon happening at the 28th degree in the sign of Taurus. And it's going to be in that sextile with Mars. This is about having to release something and shift something in a new direction in order to make space for these beautiful new opportunities to come in and take hold. And so it's almost as if you have to cut cords or cut ties with something. In the third house, it could be a contract. It could be some sort of written or verbal agreement. It could be that you just have to set boundaries and maybe even tell someone off in a maybe gentle way, hopefully, because it's Mars in Cancer, so you don't necessarily want to be passive aggressive about it. That's a Mars in Cancer thing. And so in this particular circumstance, maybe not being super direct because it is Mars in Cancer. And in this sextile, you can use it in a positive way by kind of gently telling someone like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't need to do this anymore. This isn't in alignment with who I am and what I'm doing. It could also be that you need to cut ties with some sort of educational pursuit. You might have to cut ties with something involving a commute, a vehicle, travel plans, your extended family members. There could be a dispute that's been going on amongst like your neighbors or within your community or neighborhood that you need to end. But once you let go of the thing that you need to let go of, once you speak your piece, then things are going to open up for you to start fresh, right? And so there's an energy here of a fresh start that comes after you take action to address something that needs to be addressed, especially in communication with other people. Okay. And so for Gemini and for Gemini rising. So for Gemini, this energy is actually happening in your 12th house, which is the house of endings. And so for you in particular, Gemini, this is really about letting something go. You've got a lot of kind of turbulent, dicey energy, especially in the areas of your 3rd and 9th house. So there could be a lot of weird communication going on. There could be difficulties involving travel plans, educational pursuits, sharing your viewpoints on something. But really, this is more about letting it go, like not pushing it, not obsessing over it, letting it go and kind of just seeing how things fall. There's also an energy here of a new beginning that could occur for you as a result of an ending. So it's almost as if there's something being finalized that you have to initiate or push through involving your financial situation. And it's something that you're doing behind the scenes and in secret. And it's a big change for you. It could be something unusual, so you're keeping it from other people because of its innate nature of being something that other people might not understand. Or it could be that you need to kind of keep it to yourself for some reason. But with this energy, even if that's not something that's applicable to you specifically, there's an energy here of wanting to retreat and spend some time alone, spend some time in solitude, spend some time thinking things through, like, behind the scenes involving a financial decision or a big financial move. If you take that time, that will be way more fruitful. So this could literally just be about you pulling away around the time of this new moon, which happens on the 19th, and spending some time retreating and turning inward so that way you can make the right move on a physical level, especially when it comes to your finances. And then for Cancer and for Cancer rising. So for Cancer, this new moon is happening in your 11th house, which is the house of friends, group associations, networks, people that you surround yourself with by choice. This is a better energy for you than it is for some of the other signs, Cancer, because it's mitigating that really inflammatory Mars energy that's been going on in your first house, which could literally have brought inflammation. You might have been feeling more painful and inflamed. But in most cases, this could be like inflammatory energy that affects you personally. So you might be feeling more amped up. You might be feeling more combative. You might be feeling more assertive, and that could be a good thing. Or you might be feeling a lot more passive aggressive and acting a lot more passive aggressively. So this is an energy of kind of resetting in that area, and taking some last action that you need to take. So basically, there's something here that you need to move forward with, and this is your last chance to do it. And you can feel it. It's like this visceral sensation, like I need to move, I need to do this. And this is going to kind of push you in that direction. It could be that there's something that you need to move forward or initiate involving your friends, group associations, networks, a club, or an organization that you maybe want to form or lead or take part in some way. Or it could be very literally that your friends or your social networks actually nudge you in the right direction and kind of push you into taking this last final action that you need to take for your own needs in favor of your own self-interest. This is a self-centered energy with Mars in your sign, but it's that way for a reason, because you need to focus on what you need. You need to push something forward for yourself right now. And so that's what's going on for Cancer. And for Leo and for Leo rising. So for Leos, this energy is happening in your 10th house, which is the house of career and public reputation. It's also just the general house of the things that you put out there for public consumption, or the way that the world sees you, or kind of people in mass see you. It's the legacy that you leave behind after your working years, and it's your relationship with people in positions of power and authority. So all of these things will be very, very highlighted this entire week for you, Leo. But this is going to be an opportunity for a reset or a fresh start in this area. There's a lot of turbulence going on here. There's a lot of potential to overreact to something or take something too far when it comes to a work project that you are obsessed with, or something you want to put out there into the world, or some sort of dynamic with a person in a position of power and authority that you might latch on to their goal, their dream, and take it too far, or there could be a power struggle going on here. All of these things are a part of this energy as well. But what I'm seeing here is that there is an outlet where you could work on something or initiate something or finalize something in secret or behind the scenes that really impacts your work and impacts your reputation in a positive way. And so take hold of that energy while it's here. It's very quick, but whatever's going on here that's turbulent, that's overblown, that feels chaotic, there's a way to resolve this, but you have to kind of do it quietly, and you have to pull the trigger on it like quickly. So it's like quickly and quietly you're doing something behind the scenes that impacts your career, your public standing, your work in a positive fashion. Okay, and then for Virgo and for Virgo rising. So for Virgo, this is happening in your 9th house, which is the house of adventure. It's the house of long distance travel. It's the house of your beliefs that frame your reality about things like God, the universe, the world around you, your religious and ethical value and belief systems. This is also the house of higher education and higher wisdom, especially wisdom that's gained through higher educational pursuits or experience. And so all of these things are up for change, up for turbulence, up for exciting new beginnings, and on your mind right now, Virgo. There could be something going on here where there's like some pressure where maybe you want to go on a big trip, or you want to take this education course, like maybe you want to go back to school, or maybe you want to teach a course or put out a podcast or something like that. But there's something going on in your day-to-day experience that's quite intense, that's kind of preventing you from going all in, or it's forcing you to go all in a little too much. On the opposite end of this, with this new moon, this is providing you with an outlet. So this would be a really great time to sort of initiate, not necessarily jump all in, but initiate or seed something involving a group activity that pertains to education, research, travel, adventure. So it's kind of like a learning experience that's really immersive that you could engage with involving a group, or that you could initiate yourself and lead involving a group of people. If that's applicable to you, this is a really great time to get things rolling, but not to actually jump all in. This is also a time where if you're wanting to just travel, especially if you're traveling with a friend or something like that, or you're traveling for like networking or something, this could be a really great time for that as well. for getting that moving, for initiating that action. And so, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. This is also a mitigating influence if there was some sort of dispute or conflict going on in your social circle. This is an energy where you can kind of take a bird's eye view and see it from a higher perspective and kind of put this more philosophical or higher framework around it and resolve the issues and kind of get yourself on the same page as that person and look at where your beliefs align, right? So what's true in what they're saying versus looking at it from being defensive or being like, I'm right, you're wrong. Like, what's true about what they're saying? Where do your values overlap even in the midst of this kind of dispute? For Libra and for Libra rising, this new moon is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of joint finances, debt, taxes, inheritance, other people's money. And so all of these themes are up for a little bit of there's like accelerated growth going on here, but it's also subject to quite a bit of chaos and turbulence at the same time. There could also be this energy of needing to do a fresh start involving maybe a business deal, involving a business loan, involving some sort of joint financial venture that has to do with your career and your public reputation and what it is that you're putting out there into the world. This is also the energy in the 8th house of the occult. So there could be something going on here involving like learning an occult science or teaching it in some way, or bringing that into the mix when it comes to some action you're taking with your career. Maybe you're doing some sort of like spell or ritual or something like that around career success. That could be something as well. Be careful about unintended consequences with something like that, given the Grand Cross energy that's going on there though. But this could be a really great time to think about what it is that you want with your joint financial kind of endeavors. So your partner's resources could be up for change right now. There could be something you're initiating in partnership with somebody. If you have debt, you could think about, a plan, a new innovative outside of the box plan to pay that debt off and to get some relief. If you need funding or financing for something, there could be a new innovative way to connect with somebody who has power and authority to get that money. All right. And so for Scorpio and Scorpio rising. So for Scorpio, this energy is happening in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. There could be something new and exciting that you are diving into in relationship with a partner. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. It could be a close friend. It could be a business partner. It could be any close one-on-one relationship, really, where this is applicable in some way. But really what this is all about is, taking things in a really radical new direction in partnership, and in a direction that's more aligned with your beliefs about God, the universe, the world around you. This is a great time for seeding intentions to take a trip in partnership with somebody. So to kind of take a spur of the moment, out of the blue, like radical exploration of some new country, some new area, some place that you've never been to before. This could be a great time to start something like that as well. And this could be a really great time to, join up or partner up with somebody to learn something, or to partner up with a teacher. Like if you're able to do some sort of one-on-one deep study, this would be a really great time to do that as well. Or if you want to tutor or teach somebody else in that sort of one-on-one area, this could be a really great time for that as well. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So for Sagittarius, this energy is happening in your 6th house, which is the house of work, health, daily routines, and pets. And so there's a lot of intensity. There's a lot of really big energy going on in that area right now, where a lot of momentum is happening all at once, and it can feel quite overwhelming. This is a time though where a couple of different things could be happening. So if you need resources for some sort of work-related project, this is a time where that can come through. You can seed that, you can get it in motion. Don't jump all in, but start getting the ball rolling, or the applications, written or something like that. So when you're ready, you can just pull the trigger on that, because there's something here that you could initiate. There's something that you might want to also let go of once and for all, involving a day-to-day habit or routine that's been very disruptive and chaotic. There could be an energy here of getting a new pet, so initiating an energy of a new animal, And this could also be a really important time to initiate some sort of healing process on a physical and a psychological level. So this would be a really great time to look at ways of healing the physical body that also incorporate the mental and emotional body as well. This would be a really great time to seed that, to initiate that, and to move into that if that's something that's applicable to you or that's something that you need right now. So for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, so for Capricorn, this energy is happening in your 5th house, which is the house of children. It's also the house of play. It's the house of joy. It's the house of sex. It's the house of romance. It's the house of going out there and having a good time. And so this is a time for all of those things, but there's some sort of level of intensity or pressure going on. So you have this Grand Cross that we talked about. Make sure you watch that video so you can get a deeper handle on that, where you're really enthusiastically just lunging into something that your heart is connected to. But there are some difficulties that are at play here. One of the things that I like this new moon for is getting your partner on board with your passions. This would also be a really beautiful time to initiate a new romance, especially if you are a Capricorn rising at the end degrees of Capricorn, really anywhere from 25 to 30 degrees. You're going to feel this in a very beautiful and exciting way. This is a really great time for, just amping up the romance, amping up the passion in a relationship. If you've been having arguments and disputes with your partner, this is a time where that can turn into like something completely different. That passion is channeled in a very different way, if you get what I'm saying. This is also a really great time to engage in something new and exciting that you've never done before with your partner, not necessarily just in the bedroom, but like in general, going out there, having a good time, going to a show that you wouldn't normally go to, going out dancing if that's not something you normally do. All of these things are wonderful ways to express this energy. This could also be wanting to seed something new involving your children. So if you have a goal that you want to accomplish for your children, with your children, involving your children, now's the time where you, especially in partnership with somebody, so if you are in partnership and you have children together, this would be a great time to merge your energy and focus it really intensely on what it is that you want for your children moving forward. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising. So for Aquarius, this energy is happening in your 4th house. Mars is in your 6th house, 4th house, which is the house of home, family, property, and real estate. For you guys, you're having a little bit more of a dicey time because of all of this crazy energy with the grand fixed cross. And, this isn't necessarily helping, especially if you are an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising at the end degrees of Aquarius, so 25 to 30 degrees. You're going to be feeling this full or new moon the most, and it's going to be felt in a way that's more challenging, more turbulent, a little bit harder to reckon with than some of the other signs. And so basically what's going on here is there's something that you really feel intensely about that you want to expand on, move forward into, that feels fated, that feels karmic, that you feel obsessed with, involving your home, real estate, property, maybe moving, maybe involving your family or something that you want to do with or for your family. And this energy is going to help you to do that, but it's going to help you to kind of look at what you need to let go of and cut ties with on a day-to-day basis. There's something you need to confront. It could be that you need to confront a coworker. It could be that you need to confront somebody who you're maybe having a caregiving role with. It could be that you need to confront your own physical health in order to make space, in order to, actually be able to seed this new beginning that you really want for yourself and you're craving for yourself right now when it comes to your home, when it comes to what you come home to after your work, after you're out there in the world. So kind of what's going on behind the scenes. This could also be a really great time to kind of reestablish or change your connection with your family in some way. If that's something that's applicable to you, like maybe the dynamic hasn't been very good or it's been maybe a little stale in some ways. And so this is a way where you can freshen it up, liven it up, have those difficult conversations and clear the air. All right. And then finally, last but never least, Pisces and Pisces rising. So for Pisces, this energy is happening in your 3rd house, which is a really nice placement because this is going to be in sextile with your sun, moon, or rising. So that means that this is going to be kinder to you than some of the other signs, especially if you are a Pisces, sun, moon, or rising anywhere from 25 to 30 degrees. You're going to be feeling this in a very special, very beautiful, gentle way to offset some of the chaos going on astrologically right now. This is a really great time to think about new and innovative ways to communicate your skill set, to communicate your ideas, to talk about the things that you know, understand, and have learned about that maybe are not as well understood. So it could be that you've been diving into something more alternative, more outside of the box, more unpopular. And now you're ready to put it out there. You're ready to speak your piece. You're ready to share what you've learned, regardless of what other people think about what it is that you're doing. And that's absolutely wonderful. There could be some interesting reactions to that, especially in your workplace, I would say, after you kind of let it out. But there is good energy, especially if this is something that you're truly and deeply passionate about. If this is something that you love and that your heart's behind, you have the energy to make it happen. So write that blog, start that podcast, send that email, have that talk with your community, whatever it is, do it. It could also be on the flip side that you feel obsessed with learning something that's alternative, that's different, that's outside of the box. Maybe you're ready to learn astrology and you're enrolling in the Beginner's Astrology Bootcamp. Whatever it is that you're doing when it comes to your knowledge, your education, whether you're spreading that knowledge or taking it in, if you are passionate about it, if you are lit up about it, if it's something different from what you would normally dive into, now is the time to seed that, to get into it, to make it happen. And so this new moon presents a beautiful opportunity for all of that. And so that is my forecast for all the signs. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. That helps me out so much. And I always am so grateful when you do. Comment below and let me know how this energy has been impacting you with this new moon and also with the Grand Cross that we talked about earlier this month, because that's a big energy. And like this video and share this with your friends if you feel like they might benefit from what you learned today. Thank you so much for watching. Watch this video next and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.